Welcome to another episode of Drax Corner. Today we'll be deck building the Eddard and Mormont show, which is essentially Night's Watch Banner of the Wolf, but a little bit different to the one you would see Joe from Cincinnati or Throne Runner play in that we're going to focus on both Eddard and Mormont in this deck. So to build it, first of all, we do just want to have 3 of each Mormont and Eddard, as we're going to try and build the deck around them a little bit. Which means I kind of want to put 3 little birds in there to protect them from tiers. Also, them being able to defend intrigue challenges is pretty great. So I think that's the right call. You can also use it on Benjen. So now I'll just put the cards that I think are good that I want 3 of in. That's Benjen, Ranging Party, and Messenger Raven. Those are the essential Night's Watch cards. So if I build the Stark banner, it's going to be the 3 kids, but 3 Bran, 2 Sansa, 2 Arya, because I know I don't want to go too over my normal banner. I don't normally have Eddard in there, so I have to make cuts somewhere. I do like the Tumblestone Knights, so we'll start off with 2 of those. And let's go into Night's Watch characters that are good. Will, times 2. Yoren, I like to have 1 of him just in case. Also, he's got the intrigue icon. I will put 3 Winterfell Stewards in, and up to 3 Tumblestone Knights. Good cheap guys. And 2 times veteran builders. The effect's really good, and they're good at defending power challenges, but that's about it. 1 Waymar Royce, 1 Samwell Tarly. And that brings me up to 40 characters. Sorry, 2 Aemon as well. That's a bit too many characters, so let's cut those Winterfell Stewards and try and go down to just 12 Stark guys. Hopefully lets me squeeze in a Ghost and a Littlefinger for the economy and the draw. However, with that Littlefinger, that's 39, so we'll have to come back and make some cuts after we fill out the other sections. The location base, I already know what I want here. 2 times Castle Black, 3 The Wall, 3 King's Road, 3 Rose Road, and 2 Iron Throne. So that's everything we need, and we're kind of keeping it a bit compact to make room for the large amount of characters. And the same sort of thing with events. There's 3 events I want to run: Amiga Contribution, Tears of List, which we can get off with those little birds, and Will, and 2 times Hand's Judgment to sort of help keep us safe in conjunction with the brands. So we're going to have to we're at 61 at the moment, and we don't have any milk. So we've got too many characters. I do want to get the Stark banner down to just 12 guys. So I am going to have to cut a copy of Bran Stark, which will bring us to 12 Stark characters. And unfortunately, I feel like 1 copy of Maester Aemon is going to have to go. He's not super critical. We have a lot of dupes on Eddard and Mormont if needed. And we're going to have to cut Will down to 1 because his effect can be bad for you. So that gives us the room for those 2 times Milk of the Puppy, which would be 60, but let's be a bit cheeky and go up to that 61 so we can squeeze in a Long Claw, which again is great on Mormont, great on the Ranging Party, +1 Strength and Renown will help us win. So now we need to choose the plots. Normally in a Night's Watch deck I want to include Fortified Position as a plot to help trigger the wall for a turn. But in this deck, it's going to be worse for them because it'll turn off Eddard and Mormont. But we definitely need a Noble Cause for those guys. Feast for Crows is 6 gold, which will let us basically afford 1 and goes well with the Iron Throne. Confiscation to keep them safe from Milk of the Poppy. Filthy Accusations just for a bit of control if needed. And call in the banners for the economy when needed and initiative. Wildfire Assault again has good gold, initiative, and the effect can help us keep the board sort of more stable as we're not really going to be killing dudes. Sneak Attack I'm considering for the economy, initiative, and potential closer. Heads on Spikes could be good, could give us that 2 power that we need, and helps us in their hand a little bit, potentially kills a key character. A second Filthy Accusations could be nice. It's not a plot I mind playing on the first turn if I don't have a Lord, but what I'm actually going to go with here is a jousting contest, which I think will work really well with Eddard and Mormont if they're the only ones that need to defend. Alright, so that's the deck built. It's time to download it and give it a try. So we're going to go straight into a game with Lannister, Banner of the Dragon, played by Dave from Tasmania. And I do have both Eddard and Mormont in my initial setup hand. I could have played one with a Messenger Raven, but it's definitely better to get out more cards, and Sansa is great in setup, as she won't have to come into play kneeling, and can begin with the power train. What it does mean though is that I'm only going to be able to get one of these guys into play. I drew into a third Eddard, and his ability is kind of more useful, and he has renown, so all these reasons are making me think I'm going to play him with my Noble Cause. So yeah, my setup is a King's Road, Messenger Raven, Tumblestone Knight, and Sansa versus Lannisport, Western Fiefdom, Handmaiden, and the Queen's Assassin. So his setup isn't particularly good. There's no scary characters out there. He's got a bit of card draw. The Queen's Assassin's effect is essentially wasted. And he's got a little bit of economy. So, with the two lords in my hand, taking up 4 card slots, I don't feel like there really is a choice here. It's just going to be Noble Cause. Kind of just pausing for suspense. Sometimes I like to wait till they play it, so they feel like I'm thinking really hard and I'm going to do something tricky, but I'm not. So he plays Calm over Westeros, which will win initiative with his 3 to my 1. Just waiting for him to decide who's going first, and he highlights his plot card to signify military challenges will have no claim this round. So I'm first player, and I draw into Mormont and a Ranging party. So 2 Mormonts, 3 Eddards, Bran, Reducer guy, Steward at the Wall, and a Ranging party. Can't quite play, well, I definitely can't play Eddard and Mormont, but that would be the dream. I don't particularly mind going first playing Eddard. I can always attack with him, and then when they attack back he gets to stand again, providing treachery does not happen. And when it's a Lannister deck, you know there's going to be a treachery. He laughs at the triple Eddard. It's a decent start, and my board is looking pretty big as I kind of just throw out my hand. I wanted to get the Messenger Raven out for the draw, the Intrigue guy in case he has Tyrion maybe, I don't know, maybe just for the claim soak, Brand for cancelling that treachery, and I'm not feeling too bad about Iffy Wildfires in this scenario. Also, it makes me play down to 4 cards, so when I draw that Messenger Raven back up, I'll be at my reserve if he doesn't win an Intrigue challenge, which I'm kind of expecting him to. He gets down a Lannister Reducer as well as a Targaryen Reducer, and has 4 gold left, as well as 1 Lannister Reducer location. I feel like that's enough money to play Jaime, but then he'll have no gold for a treachery, so it's not the worst thing in the world. I feel like if he does the military, then I can just stand Eddard and block with Tumblestone Knight and actually get a power out of it, even if I attack with Eddard. So I do an Intrigue with Sansa. He has to defend with 2 guys or Jaime to successfully block it. I could have thrown in the steward at the wall to make Jamie have to block it. But then I would give him an unopposed back. Not really sure what the better play is. Because he might not have even... He would have won the intrigue back regardless. He wasn't going to win a military with Jamie anyway. But it means it's one less power that he might have for me to steal later. We will see. So I do a power challenge with Bran. He could block this. He chooses not to. Doesn't really matter too much. Maybe he wants to try and steal that power from me, but I don't see that happening. So I do a military with Eddard. He lets it go unopposed because I have no claim. But that's fine. I'll get another unopposed power as well as 1 renown, bringing me up to 3 power. And then he removes the Queen's Assassin for claim, so I go ahead and remind him that's not necessary. So I pass on challenges. He can definitely win an intrigue against me, but not really anything else. All he would be doing is feeding Eddard more power, which is what I would like to happen. So he does the intrigue. I can block it. I think about whether or not I let it go unopposed here, but I don't need to. I'll still win dominance, regardless of what happens now. And he gets a copy of Mormont, which is okay, because I still have 1 more in my hand. And my other cards are pretty good too. So I stand Eddard a bit too late there, but he wasn't really going to do any more attacks, otherwise Eddard would have stood, and I was going to win dominance either way. So it doesn't actually have any effect on the game. So yeah, I get dominance. I get to return the Messenger Raven to draw a card, which is the wall. Which right now I only have 1 Night's Watch character to buff with, but I could still easily defend the challenges. Oppose them at least. So I'm thinking he might wildfire right now. I just have that fear because I really want to play Call in the Ban as well. There's so many guys out on the board. But I decided to risk it. I mean, I'm going to get 6 gold from it anyway, and I've got the reducer which would let me play Mormont if that's what I want to do. But he plays summons, which means I can choose for him to go first, just so I know what he's going to do. And I'll happily take 5 gold from the plot. So I think about this choice, because Eddard going first is pretty decent. But then I'm thinking treachery, I'm thinking summons. I want to see what he gets and maybe draw a milk to deal with that. So he's searching the top 10 cards from his summons, and he finds Tywin Lannister. And doing the math here, he has 2 reducers and 2 reducer locations, as well as a reducer person, which means Tywin is playable. But again, he wouldn't have any gold to spend on events, which is okay with me. So, alright, let's go up to... Oh, we have to wait for him to marshal. Yeah, we both draw our cards. I've got a Rose Road, which I'm happy to see. It kills me, the games where I play Night's Watch and I don't get a single Rose Road, because King's Roads just don't do it. They don't keep you in the long game. He has his own Rose Road, so his economy is no problem at all. He's playing Lannister, so who would have thought? And if he plays that Tywin, then that's an extra 2 gold to turn on top of that. He plays down a reducer because he can always use it to reduce Tywin anyway. And it's extra claim soak, I guess. Depending on what I had in my hand, it's not necessarily something I would do, because they do work as intrigue claim soak as well. Alright, so he plays Tywin and passes on Marshallin. So I've got 8 gold to work with. I could play Mormont and a Messenger Raven, or I could play the Wall, a Ranging Party, and a Messenger Raven by kneeling my reducer. And he doesn't have Tyrion, so I'm not that afraid of having Sansa as my only defender in an intrigue challenge. If I don't get to do one against him, it's not the end of the world. And I've always got my Messenger Raven to bring me a replacement card. Messenger Ravens I really like, particularly against Cersei. You just play out your hand, let her discard whatever you've got left, and then refill it at the end of the turn. And will also be as effective against the new plot that Lannister will get in the next pack. So over to Marshallin, he does an intrigue challenge for 2 strength, because he knows that's all it takes to win against Sansa. I will kind of wait a second for reactions, but he has no gold for tears. So I discard my other copy of Mormont. So I guess there won't be an Eddard and Mormont show today, unless I draw my 3rd Mormont. Both turns, he gets it. So I spent some time here thinking about what I would do if I was him, and I think it's military with Jaime. I win the challenge with Eddard and get renown. But at least I won't be able to attack back with him. And then he could safely win a power challenge. Or at least kneel me out on power. Oh, well, I guess Eddard would stand again, so I guess he would just pass there and win the power and defense, which he could do with his 1 extra strength. So waiting to see what he decides to do. He probably has some tricks in his hand, but without the gold to... without the Tyrion to pay for them, it's not quite the same. If he wins the power off me, then I can probably just win it back. So I'm not the most upset about that. I don't particularly care about doing an intrigue. Sorry, I can't do an intrigue. I don't particularly care about doing a military against him. because he's got so many characters on the board. 7. If I did call in the banners this turn, oh, could have played the wall and Mormont. So yeah, I'm thinking Wildfire as my next plot. I would lose Bran out of it, a Tumblestone and a Reducer, which is quite a lot. Bran especially against Lannister. He does a power here with 7 strength, so the only way I beat this is... Well, there isn't really a way. I don't really know why I didn't just block with Bran, as he would have counted as opposed in... If I was planning on losing it anyway, the only possible thing to worry about would be Superior Claim, which I wouldn't actually be that concerned with. So not really sure why I did that. Also, I didn't use Eddard because I was going to lose the challenge unless I blocked with 2 people, which would have had to be in the ranging party and Eddard, but he wasn't going to do another attack. So let me stand him again. I really just want the renown here, but I also want to win dominance. So I can win a power challenge with just Bran to get my power back from him, bringing us up to 4-0. If I do a mill, I could get another renown and possibly win dominance, depending on if he lets it go unopposed or not. But I'm not that concerned with winning dominance. He actually asked me after the game why I don't choose to mill here. But that's it. I just think dominance is enough. That'll put me up to 2 power from the wall. Goes up to 6. 1 power from dominance. Brings us up to 7. And then return the Messenger Raven to my hand to draw Maester Aemon. He's a good sight, especially if I'm planning on Wildfiring. Get us power from Sansa stand-in, and now it's 9, including Eddard's Renown, to 1 Renown on Tywin. So this is generally what you want out of a Night's Watch deck, is to just rush ahead in power. You want to win on turn 4, 5 at the latest. If you let it go much later than that, then it means they're going to eventually overtake you unless you've dealt with their major characters already in some way. So with his massive economy here, it does make sense to play Counting Coppers, fill up his hand with cards. Since he's got Tywin plus a Rose Road and 2 reducers, he's going to get a lot of gold for those cards regardless. So I've chose for him to go first again, just because I want to play the defensive game to make sure I get the wall off. If he plays Tyrion, I've still at least got Aemon, which means I won't be able to use him for the save, but I do have Eddard with two duplicates on him. So yeah, just waiting for him to draw his cards. There we go, he draws 3. I draw another Messenger Raven and a Steward at the wall, which isn't the worst right now. Means I can vomit out on the board again, and I've got 2 draw cards to keep my draw coming. Yeah, he's going first though, with 5 gold. And since he played Summons last turn and had 7 reserve, and just drew 5, he was temporarily up to 12 cards in hand there, which is quite a lot. So he plays down Jorah Mormont, Lannisport Merchant, Has 3 gold left, which means Tywin's currently on 9 strength. Which is quite a lot, to be honest. Okay. So he's got no stealth on the board, not enough money for the Hound. I've got Claim Soak, I've got Draw, I've got Power Gain, I've got Defense. I can play out quite a few cards. I won't have any gold left for Hand's Judgment, and Bran is now dead. So I will have to be careful about Tears of Lys on the Ranging Party. Well, not particularly because I've got Aemon. And also the Wall, also Eddard stand-in, are all options. So we move into his challenges. It's going to be another one of those tense thinking moments. I can't tell you exactly what he's thinking because I don't know what are those 10 cards in his hand. I assume he's got some use for that 3 gold. It's buff in Tywin. Make sure to remind him all of my guys are buffed by the Wall, except for Sansa and Eddard, which mostly is just going to matter for dominance. I'm thinking 3 gold, super buffed Tywin, and a Jaime on a military challenge is going to make for a pretty easy put to the sword. And then if he does put to the sword, I guess he probably kills Sansa. It'll make me weaker on defense. I won't be able to save from it with Aemon. A joke about him stealing my 3rd Mormont. Not that I have it. He does a military challenge, so 5 strength from Jaime, 8 strength from Tywin. That brings him up to 13. I could stop a put to the sword here with blocking with both Eddard and the Ranging Party, but I'm most concerned that he's going to have a treachery to stop Eddard from stand-in, and then somehow stops me from defending a challenge of some kind. So, like, if he puts to the sword, he can put to the sword my Ranging Party. That's sweet. I can save with Aemon. He can put to the sword Eddard. That's sweet. I can save with a duplicate. If he put to the sword Sansa, then I have to use Aemon on the defense. So I'll ask if he has any reactions. He doesn't put to the sword. I'm not sure if he was just trying to make me overcommit. But I just use a Eddard dupe for claim. One thing you really don't want to do there is use Aemon to save the Ranging Party, because treachery will make the Ranging Party die. But I definitely could have used Aemon to save the Steward at the Wall or a Messenger Raven if I didn't want those cards super badly. That'll give him 3 power in total now. And he still gets to do an intrigue challenge with Jaime, which I will just oppose with Sansa. I can't win one back against Jorah, but Sansa's kneeling, so that's automatically a power. And I'll discard for claim. I'm sort of waiting for a Tears of Lys here, but at the same time, I can save with Aemon. So he gets my Hand's Judgment, which is always good for a Lannister. He triggers Lannisport to draw a card. Alright, so he can't do a power challenge because I'll just get power from Eddard with it. He could just to force Eddard to kneel though, but he doesn't actually have any power to steal. So, I mean, I'm probably just going to get the 1 power either way. But he chooses to do that power, which does force me to kneel Eddard. What I could have done is block the intrigue with Aemon, block the power with Sansa, lost the power, and done the power back at him with Eddard. But then I wouldn't be able to use Aemon to save from a Tears of List if that happened. So I block with Eddard. I know no tricks are going to save him, so claim my power. And he passes on challenges. I've just got 1 to make. It's an intrigue. The only reason I do it, he's going to win, he's going to draw a card. It's going to push Jorah closer to sacrificing himself, and it's also going to mean that we'll tie for dominance at 4 apiece with my 2 Strength Messenger Ravens and his 3 gold, 1 reducer. We'll be at 4 apiece. So I wait for him to do his effects. He gets his card, bringing him up to 11, so he's 1 over reserve. And gets a power on Mormont and a betrayal token. So I say done, claim my 2 power from the wall, bringing me up to 12 in total. He uses treachery on the wall, so I don't get 2 power. But that does mean he has 1 less gold and puts me ahead for dominance, so I'll get 1 power anyway. And I don't feel that bad about treachery being used for 1 power swing, especially when I'm already this far ahead. So I'm on 11, and then in dominance return both Messenger Ravens to my hand. Still be under reserve. He's just saying he had 1 stand and 2 gold. I'm saying I've got 2 Ravens with 2 strength each. Get a Littlefinger and a King's Road, and end the turn to get a sense of power. So I will be on 12 after all. So at this point, I'm thinking of just trying to close out the game, play in a Feast for Crows. It'll give him sort of the option of trying to get an unopposed challenge through and stop the wall and Sansa, giving me 3 to win. And also, if he doesn't and I just win dominance, I also get 3 power and win. It was pretty much good game at this point. I believe I was going to win next turn, but it would have been interesting to see with his tricks. Like, I know he had things I do for love in hand that could have been crucial. But Octagon decided to crash for everyone, not just us. And it actually never recovered. So, yeah, we just call that one a win for the deck. Good game, guys.